If you're looking to buy a stacked NBA 2K account with max badges and more, visit sportstmb.com. He has been in the community for years and has hundreds of reviews. Click the first link in the description to get your account today.
Hey guys, if you're new here, consider subscribing, as I post daily 2K videos about anything and everything 2K related. Enjoy. So let me take you guys back to the OG games. Imagine you guys are loading up NBA 2K16 for the very first time. You finally get to create your player, and you guys are left with this screen, the OG created player setting. We're just hopping off the hype of 2K15, and now we're introduced into a new and improved NBA 2K. Life is so good at this point. You guys are just coming back from school or wherever you guys are waking up to finally get on the game, as it has just came out. You're just chilling in your room on September 29th, 2015, and you guys are so ready to hop into the park, and you guys are finally granted with this iconic screen. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is probably the biggest decision of my 15-year-old life at the time. Whenever this game did come out, it was either, do I want to remain loyal to the Flyers, or do I actually want to go try out what that sunset is like at the Sunset Beach Ballers? Because of course I would never go to Rivet City. I'm just going to say it right now. If you guys went Rivet, you got some issues, bro. Nah, but all jokes aside, I remember this being specifically and honestly one of the most important decisions I have made in a long time. Now, honestly, I could keep explaining how great these games were, but let me just show you my vintage reaction whenever I was 15 years old, deciding on which affiliation I should join, and then we'll go from there.
Yo, that is so OP, but as you guys see here, I'm picking Mypark, and you already know I'm going with the Ballers. The Baller. So I respect that, and for you guys, I want to be a Sunset Beach Baller. So like I said, if you guys ever want to play with me, my PSN is JJ2KYT.
So then once you guys finally pick your affiliation, you would have loaded up into whatever park you had chosen, and that feeling alone was so great just to see some new parks compared to 2K15. And honestly, those 2 years I had sharing with everyone playing 2K16 and 2K17 were honestly the most fun times I've ever had playing a video game, and I'll always forever cherish that. So with that, we know what sadly happens next.
Welcome to the neighborhood. A new neighborhood with new energy and new places to explore. Make a name for yourself at the Jordan Rec Center. Or work on your hang time at the Under Armour cages.
Yes, so now we are 3 years later with just the spam of the neighborhood over and over again, and although I'm not going to totally diss on the neighborhood, I feel that as a longtime 2K player, it did ruin some of the aspects of the game. Now, given they did add a lot of cool features, but one of the main things they did was obviously take away affiliations, and that is the point of this video, with obviously the announcement that there will be affiliations in NBA 2K21. Now, right before I do show you guys this, you guys also have to consider the fact that since it is going to the PS5 and the Xbox, that not only will we have more features, the features that were harped on before are going to be 10 times better, simply because the PS4 and the Xbox One were legitimately pushed until it could not do any more. The memory on the consoles and the engines that they were ran on, if you guys understand how that works, they were literally pushed to the brinks, and that was as good as a game as you guys were going to get on these old consoles. So you guys always have to realize that, more than likely for the most part, unless it's like EA or someone like that, these game developers are trying to do their hardest and the best work they could possibly do to give you guys the best product possible, but just with the limitations of the console and the lifespan that it's been through, it's just reasonable that 2K20, in my opinion, was one of the worst 2Ks to date. Now keep in mind, this is coming from a guy that didn't even buy NBA 2K19 and quit 2K18 literally a month in. With a YouTube channel with 70,000 subscribers, I was literally that unmotivated to play the game that I didn't even want to post videos. It got to that point. But nonetheless, regardless, let me just show you guys the proof from a reputable source, like I said, which is G2A. If you guys don't know what G2A is, it's basically a game marketplace primarily for the PC. If you guys know what Steam is, it's basically the same thing. So just for some background in case you guys didn't know what it is. But regardless, here is the screenshot that was later deleted about 5 minutes after posting. Now I will read this to you guys, but here are the things that you guys really want to know in case you just wanted the quick information just to get out of the video. I do understand. Basically what I'm here to tell you guys is there's supposedly about to be 5 new affiliations, okay? Not to mention the 3 that we already know. There's going to be 2 hidden affiliations that no one has any clue about. There's going to be 97 new hairstyles, which honestly I'm kind of happy about that too. I'm tired of rocking the same afro, the same fade, this the same basic haircuts that everyone has. And then the other thing, the release date that you guys might care about. Obviously they're going to offer the early tip-off, in which normally you get the game about 3 days early, in which the actual release date for this will be September the 3rd, 2020. So basically they're on the normal time, about a week earlier than normal. But let me say something, the new consoles are supposed to release on the holidays. So what this kind of means for everybody is that this game is going to probably release on the PS4 and the Xbox One consoles. So it's kind of like a GTA 5 deal, where more than likely you guys are going to have to purchase the game twice. So obviously people are going to be really concerned about that. So hopefully they kind of offer you a thing where you can transfer your character onto the new consoles. Again, I really don't know how that works. With NBA 2K14, I think it kind of worked like that, but I genuinely don't remember the whole process that it took. But let me just say something real quick about this, okay? Do not expect the 2K21 ported version on PS4 and Xbox One to be anything much more different than the 2K20 game itself, because it is literally the same concept. So in my opinion, what I think is going to happen is NBA 2K21 will have the remastered version of the PS4 port on the PS5 and Xbox respectively. So regardless, let me just read this to you guys. It will be in the description down below if you guys actually want to view it, but here I'm just going to tell you guys at this moment. So NBA 2K21 is the first time ever players will get to access all 12 teams of the WNBA. That's honestly a pretty big deal since they have added it to 2K20. But here is the way bigger and way more important news with this. All 68 college teams in the NCAA will be playable not only in the Play Now, but also with the My Career path. So this just goes to show that if you guys thought 2K20's My Career was long and honestly pretty dope, I did, even though I hated playing it just for the badges purposes, I really thought 2K20 My Career was pretty fun. Now we're adding 68 college teams into the mix. So just imagine that and how this is going to work. So coming off of that, let me just say also that they talk a lot about My Career, so stay tuned. Just listen to me whenever I say this. So they're talking about a lot of options for customization. So they're saying there's going to be ranges of obviously designer clothing, which they've included a lot in 2K20, so it's really not that new, but it's still cool that they're trying to push more of the designer aspects into the game. They also they talk about custom tattoos. They're saying there's going to be thousands of new custom tattoos. Obviously, I already said about the 97 new haircuts. They also say unique power-ups. Now, I don't know what that means. That could mean a bunch of things. That could even mean park cards. I really hope it does not mean park cards, but you never know. They also obviously are going to state that it's going to be an enriching storyline, which I would hope they'd say that. They'd be lying, or they're trying to hype it up regardless. They're also talking about the progression of the players, which is obvious as well. They state that My Career has been completely rebuilt. They state that the main hub, the quote-unquote the world, which is going to be the player's gateway to an experience with friends and the rest of the community, is new. And also obviously affiliations are back. Please choose between 5 robust affiliations and rep your old 2K17 affiliation for an extra Gatorade boost in the world. So let me just talk about that. Let me just revert back to what I said. The world. So what I think the world is, I could be wrong. What I think it really is, and I want to make a whole video on this topic, but let me just sum up what I believe the world personally is. So in my opinion, I genuinely think that they aren't going to remove the neighborhood. Now, like what I talked about earlier, with the new consoles, that becomes more limitations and a lot more things they can do with the new consoles. So what I believe is going to happen, they might lower back on how big the neighborhood is, but I think the neighborhood is going to stay and be the main focus of everything. What I believe the neighborhood will be is a place for us all to chill, kind of doing what we already do. Because they did state, Ronnie2K did say in his stream that the reason why they took affiliations out was the biggest problem from a business standpoint was the simple fact that people could not play together. So I think they're going to use the neighborhood as more of a mini game place where you guys can play the cages. Anything else like kind of back in 2K18 where they had the one-on-one courts and things like that. All those features will still be in the game. It's just compiled into the neighborhood, and then from the neighborhood you guys can do your play with friends, you know, flyers versus ballers. You guys can go to the ballers courts and obviously just play it like how the game was used to be played, like 2K16 and 2K17. There will be a travel feature. I feel like all 5 parks are not going to be directly, you know, connected to the neighborhood, but that's why they refer to it as the world. The fact that you guys can travel throughout the whole neighborhood and go to your affiliations parks and go to other affiliations parks to play against each other and continue NBA 2K21 like 2K16, 2K17, and obviously 2K15 was, and just enjoy the game how we want to enjoy it, with obviously them still keeping the neighborhood so they can run their advertisements and do everything else that revolves around what they're trying to push, is obviously trying to make as much money as possible.